and welcome to Universus. Today we are going to be asking the questions around Connie Springer, aka Shinzo 2.0. For those who aren't aware, Shinzo is a character from the general studies, the business studies UA classes, who got onto the heroes course through hard work, determination, and Aizawa personally training him. We got a character from him in Crimson Rampage, which will be rotating out next year. Immediately, a lot of the Timmy players jumped onto them and absolutely loved this idea of making my opponents have to play cards on the defense, forcing all my attacks to get +2 speed. I know Richard made a very good kick deck on Void back in the day. Recently, we got Connie Springer, and Connie Springer looks at Shinzo and goes, "This is how you do it properly." Connie Springer has two very cool abilities. On top of being a 6-hander for 32, which is immediately really cool, you have a response at the start of your rival's turn, name an attack zone. Attacks that match the name zone get -2 speed. That is very, very cool, very, very powerful, and I think people are underestimating how impactful that's going to be, and immediately Kendo is in shambles about this. Everyone who loved focus attacks and all these all mids or all lows packages that we've been seeing running around for Rodan and Godzilla are immediately in shambles as their attacks become easier to block. Then we have response, commit 1 foundation. After your attack with a printed difficulty 3 or less deals damage, draw 2 cards. Immediately I was read that as a free damage matters card, and we jumped on board with things like Stormer Blades and all these other cards. And it was a lot of us that did it. Reading the cards explains the cards, and it was free difficulty. This is still really powerful. It's not once per turn. You just commit and you get to draw silly things. The big thing about free difficulty attacks, they are low power, low impact cards, especially on these symbols of order and air, but players are less likely to block them if you're coming at your opponent. So if I am throwing a flying zap, that one may get blocked, but it's still 2 damage. A lot of opponents are like, that's more than fair. Yeah, go for it. You can get your free damage. You've got things like Wind Barrier, which come in and they're free freeze for free. That are really, really cool. They're not designed to be what you build your deck around. They're designed to be cards that help your deck achieve its goal. The fact that Connie plays these cards so coolly is a huge hint to me that there is something much, much cooler just below the surface, and to me, it's Connie's defense. If your opponent is playing a multi-zone deck, which a lot of people are, what do? You can do one of the dumbest interactions that Connie gets to do with these low-impact attacks your opponent isn't blocking, or with things like Flying Zap, which allow you to gain momentum, which is using vertical maneuvering equipment to spend 1 momentum, give this attack -3 speed, then you change its zone. And when you change its zone, you change the zone to the zone that Connie has stated, and it gets another -2 speed. This is not a commit cost. This is not a unique asset. This is a very, very powerful asset for Connie, who's going to have a lot of momentum lying around, has a lot of ways to get momentum on order and on air, and these 3 damage low impact attacks, which allow you to draw 2 cards just to let you string out, because you're talking with progressive difficulty, not taking into account breakers or things like that. Your first attack's on a 3, then on a 4, then on a 5, then on a 6, then on a 7. You have launched 4 attacks, and if you've checked all grey, you've committed 2 free foundations. That's nuts. And every single one of those that hits, you get to commit a foundation and draw 2. This is just huge. I absolutely love this interaction. Connie is going to be a defensive powerhouse. It's so cool to see this kind of character and attack attacks. This is what I was expecting Levi to kind of do. Zip around, moving, changing zones for himself. Connie's changing zone of the attacks. It's very Survey Corps. It's very dashing around with speed, slowing down the Titans with traps. This is such a cool character. I'm so hyped to get to try this out. It's definitely on my shortlist to try out at the pre-release as well. Connie with the vertical maneuvering equipment and all the attacks is definitely a sleeper of the set. I know people are very hyped on Mikasa. I know people are very hyped on Reiner. I have made a video about how toxic I think Reiner's going to be. But I think Connie's a sleeper here. I think Connie is a dark horse that people are going to underestimate. They're just going to get hit by a lot of little damages, and I think this is a great advocate for the burn deck that people were talking about. This is a quick insight into Connie and the way that they interact with vertical maneuvering equipment, and the fact that you will see a lot of players, especially more established players, taking hits from these low impact attacks because your health is a resource, and sometimes keeping a card in your hand is better, even if your opponent gets to draw 2 cards of it and make your attack go super slow. This is going to be a very cool card that's going to push our opponent's mental loads to the point where, do I want to stop 2 damage and let stop my opponent's draw, or do I want to lose this card in my hand? And the fact that Connie can string out so much is so cool. But let me know what you think. Are you planning on playing Connie? Do you have vertical maneuvering equipment in there? Had that interaction not even occurred to you yet? Do let me know in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next one when I can come up with my next crazy theory. Bye!